The views and opinions expressed in this program do not necessarily represent those of Natural Bridges Media or KSQD's staff, volunteers, or underwriters.
Hello and welcome to Talk of the Bay. I am your host, Len B.A. Our guests in this half hour are Charles Pasternak and Alicia Gibson. Charles Pasternak's Santa Cruz Shakespeare tenure as artistic director began in 2023, before which he served as artistic director of the Porters of Hellsgate Theater Company in Los Angeles for over 15 years. He has had a wide-ranging career as an actor and director at theaters across this country, including American Players Theater, Alabama Shakespeare Festival, Indiana Repertory Theater, Clarence Brown Theater, the Denver Center, the Shakespeare Theater of New Jersey, the Shakespeare Center of Los Angeles, 3 seasons with the Shakespeare Festival of St. Louis, and is it now 5 with Santa Cruz Shakespeare, Charles?
Well, I guess on that bio you're reading, and the list is always both lovely and nostalgic and a little embarrassing. I keep 4 years at Shakespeare Santa Cruz on that bio because those were the 4 years I was an actor at Shakespeare Santa Cruz up on campus. This is my, I guess, 4th year with Santa Cruz Shakespeare. So if you added them together, it'd be 8 at this point. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But part of that is as acting only, and then part of that as the artistic director.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, Charles.
Thank you, Len. It's good to be back.
And also with us is Alicia Gibson. She is the production manager for Santa Cruz Shakespeare and is the co-director of this year's production of A Christmas Carol, which is coming up very shortly. She's very grateful to be a part of the Santa Cruz Shakespeare team. She's loved Shakespeare since high school and always looks forward to introducing more people to the work. She graduated from the University of California, Santa Barbara Theater Directing Program, and prior to her tenure with SCS, worked for many years as a director and stage manager in Los Angeles. Alicia Gibson, welcome to Talk of the Bay.
Great to be here.
So you've got this is your 2nd year, is that right, of A Christmas Carol coming up. Can you tell us a little bit about this year's production?
Well, it's essentially A Christmas Carol, the same story, but it's a new production in the sense that it's a year older. We're all a year newer, but we're hoping to bring the same love and nostalgia and Christmas warmth and care that we had last year. Last year was very successful, and we're hoping to continue this as a new tradition for the community in Santa Cruz.
We've had so many wonderful responses. So many people came to us with a lot of love last year. It was their first experience in the theater, or their kids' first experience, their first exposure to our work, which was always part of the ambition, that A Christmas Carol could be a doorway into the world of theater and the other things we do. And I think that's a reason, among many, that many theaters do it every year, and our current ambition is to do it every year. Never exactly the same, but evolving and growing in all of our design elements and in how we approach it, and specifically in the vision that guides it. While the core script and Dickens' text is unchanging, well, not unchanging, that's not true, but mostly the same. So much can change with the vision of a different director, working with different designers. And so as in our 2nd year, Alicia and I decided to co-direct this. But really what I'm interested in is Alicia's vision. She's a wonderful director, and I've collaborated with her in the theater many, many times and seen her artistry. So I'm excited to see what she brings to this piece, and then to let it, in future years, knock on wood, all goes well, we can keep doing this, to keep letting it go and passing the baton to other wonderful artists who will continue to bring their vision to this beautiful little tale, 90 minutes, no intermission, filled with songs and the core of Dickens' beautiful story.
Yeah, and we've got 5 of our adult actors and 4 local kids, the same 4 who were part of our show last year. So we're
Great.
excited to have them back, and we're hoping that it becomes a tradition for them and their families as well. And as they get a little bit older, they might have to not be Tiny Tim anymore, but we hope that we continue to move on to more community kids and have them a part of our family too.
That's great. How do you recruit kids for a play like this, where you don't have normally children as part of
Sure.
Shakespeare productions?
Yeah, I mean, we treat them like any other actor. We hold auditions. This, for children specifically, we've tried to activate our education department to spread the word that we're having auditions. And so since our 4 kids were coming back this year, we didn't have to have auditions. But typically, like we did last year, we just held local auditions. And our goal is to activate the local community and have them, be a part of it. So we wanted specifically to have kids from Santa Cruz or Watsonville or just, this area.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful. And Charles, you mentioned about having a different director or collaborating in directing a play, how the different vision shapes it. And it's so very evident with Shakespeare's plays, because if anyone has ever tried to read a Shakespeare play and you haven't seen it prior to reading it, it often appears like, what the heck? What would this be? How would you ever, you need an imagination to figure out how is this going to be presented.
Yeah.
And I wonder if both of you have a ton of directorial experience. Could you talk a little bit about how the director's vision plays a huge part in bringing the lines on the page to life?
Totally. And I'd really like Alicia to take most of this one, because she's the new voice here and the new vision. But I'll just say briefly that whether good or bad, no 2 people would direct a play the same way. Even 2 bad directors will give you 2 different visions. I mean, it's just sort of, now I believe in the directors we have, and in myself and in Alicia, that we're quite good directors. I certainly hope so. But it would be the same even if 2 terrible directors were doing the same play. You would see 2 different visions, because the approach, a director is just empowered, especially in working with designers and actors who are hopefully respecting them as a director, to do a lot, to control a lot of the elements. So you're going to see a different vision no matter between any 2 people. But I'm very proud of what we built last year as our first vision. And now the question is, how will that vision evolve? And the first collaborator to be brought in to help us do that is Alicia.
Yeah, just like with Shakespeare, I think Charles Dickens does a really good job of painting a picture. And of course, it comes out of a novella, so you as a reader would imagine it yourself. So kind of in that same way, a director sees the vision of what's written on the page. And I think so much of it is magical, and so much of it is... some of it is literal, like Victorian England or snow, and some of that we can't reproduce on stage. It's just, it's not possible. But we have the opportunity to paint a picture with the words, and we're a company of language, so it really is important for us to keep the text intact as much as possible. And so with that, we're using the language to paint a picture, as well as take some of that language and create, whether it's a literal piece of magic or a theatrical version of what's being described. I think the director's kind of job is to throw out some ideas along with the actors to collaborate and put together some version of the literal, script. And like I said before, I think Dickens and Shakespeare do a good job of showing what you want to see in the text, so you have a chance to kind of create whatever that looks like in your imagination. And so from my perspective as a director, I get to just throw out some ideas and see what sticks and what works for our production of 5 adults and 2 kids on stage in the Vets Hall.
Wonderful. So tell us about this, the production. It's going to be at the Vets Hall. When do you start, and how long of a run is it going to be?
We're already in rehearsals. It's been a joyous first week. The first preview performance will be the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. I think that's November 26th. And then over the weekend, we return after a very brief Thanksgiving break, and we open that Sunday night at 7 p.m. And I'm cheating a glance at the calendar that is in your office here, or our recording area here. So that's the 30th. November 30th at 7 p.m. is opening night. And we'll run through Christmas Eve. Tickets, all information can be found at santacruzshakespeare.org. That's santacruzshakespeare.org. And yeah, it was, again, last year was such a thrilling, sort of wonderful a journey. I'm really excited to see if the community, last year the question is, will the community show up to this new version of a holiday show? This year the question is, will the community show up to what we hope will be a ritual, a tradition in the community, this returning to these carols and this story in Dickens' vision of a better world and what it takes for us to be better people. And it's something that I find deeply moving. And I hope our community does as well. I hope they do. But yeah, santacruzshakespeare.org. All information is up there. We're rehearsing now and we'll be performing soon.
Great, and we'll get to witness the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future.
Indeed.
Wonderful.
Indeed. Yeah.
And in this production, you use a lot of really traditional, like English Christmas carols. And I wondered about the source material. Like, how did you find these, and how did you decide what to use within the production?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the source material is Victorian or Dickensian, carols, but it doesn't mean that we stick with the
we haven't
style.
Literally limited ourselves, but we don't want modern radio hits either. We're threading in the middle. Yeah.
No White Christmas here.
No.
No Santa baby, sorry. But so that's where we start. But our wonderful music director and sound designer, Luke Shepard, takes those carols and arranges them for 2-part, 3-part, 5-part harmonies sometimes. We use everybody in the cast. And he's a very talented music director. He's been with us last year as well as this summer. He was our music director for Into the Woods.
Which was, I just want to say, call out to Luke, like, I got to sit right next to where he was sitting during
that was
Into
him
the
playing
Woods.
the keyboards.
And he's doing 5 things at once.
100%.
I mean,
and never missed a beat.
He's incredible.
He's
he was
incredible.
playing live piano while he was running tracks on his foot pedal, while he was conducting the actors on stage, and while he had a small hidden laptop in case anything went wrong, so he could reset. I mean, literally 3 to 4 things at once, and that doesn't include what has to be going on in his ears as he manages multiple parts and harmonies. And
right.
The man is a miracle, and the man is a Santa Cruz treasure. We're so lucky. I'm so lucky that he moved here. And I just count my blessings. I just count my blessings that he's in my backyard, our backyard.
Yeah.
And
we were, I think it was interesting during intermission of Into the Woods.
Yeah.
Not only did I want to get up and have a word with him, well, how are you doing that? Literally a crowd of people came up around his booth to do the exact same thing.
And he deserves it.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
extraordinary.
Our Charlotte Munson, who played the witch in that Into the Woods and is in our Christmas Carol. Even just, I think it was last night or the night before, we were doing some music rehearsal, and she just sort of, she gasped. She was like, Luke, how do you do it? I mean, he's playing 4, while they're working these carols, he's playing 4 parts at once.
And singing it.
And singing it with one of them while listening to all of them. I mean, it's what Luke does. There's so many things in the world where I look at and I go, if I worked really hard for 10 years, I'll bet I could do that too. I look at what Luke does and I'm like, nope, this is just not what I was born into.
Yeah.
I could not do that.
Right.
No matter how hard I worked.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's an extraordinary talent.
Yeah, but Alicia, we've interrupted you. Keep telling us about our Christmas carols, and we've changed some this year, and that's part of individualizing each year.
Exactly. So part of the evolution of it is, so like I said, we take these, traditional carols, and Luke makes an arrangement out of it and personalizes it for us and personalizes it for the actors. He never wants to make an actor sing something that they can't sing. So he wants to make the actors shine. So we've taken a couple carols from last year and updated them, and we've even added a new carol to one of the scenes, and I won't spoil it and tell you where it is, but it's part of the evolution of the show. We want to enhance the show. Like I said about Dickens' language, the carols are there to add to the show and not distract from the show. And I think they continue to bring that holiday cheer or holiday drama, because it's not always like a super upbeat singy-songy. But it really sets the mood, sets the ambiance, and I think hopefully people will recognize the carols, even if they are in a different arrangement. And even last year we heard some people singing. We heard some people getting into it, which is great. We hope that continues. So we choose the carols as much as possible for the story within the lyrics. And we were talking about this at rehearsal, is that some of us have heard these carols, but have never heard the lyrics. A lot of it is like older carols that are usually instrumental, or you hear at the supermarket, or whatever. But listening to the lyrics, it's just like poetry too. So it's the same poetry Dickens is using, or even Shakespeare is using. And so Luke really wants, all of us really want the story of the carol to fit within the moment in the show. And I think we've accomplished that. And they're all still learning all their parts right now. And it is an exercise. He is, it's not a Sondheim musical, but he's pushing the arrangements to there. So all of their harmonies are really cool and fun. But
we have a new actor, Eddie Lopez, who came to us. I mean, he's done 15 years at Oregon Shakespeare, and he's amazing. But he had taken a quick trip to Europe and came back. First day of rehearsal, he was pretty jet lagged, and Luke started singing through some of the parts he wanted Eddie to start to learn. And halfway through one of those, Eddie just broke into laughter because he was so tired and jet lagged, and he's listening to this very complicated multi-part harmony. He's recording it. But Luke is incredibly kind with his singers, but he asks a lot. He asks a lot of them.
Yeah, which is the nature of a professional level production. You are asking a lot,
and we have hired professional singers, so they'll deliver. It's one of the great blessings, that we get to bring in these artists, in and share them with Santa Cruz and share them with the. They get to help make our holidays. And so we're very lucky to get to do what we do. And I hope Santa Cruz feels lucky to have a Christmas carol.
Yes. Well, for listeners who are just tuning in, my guests are Charles Pasternak and Alicia Gibson of Santa Cruz Shakespeare. Charles Pasternak is the artistic director. Alicia Gibson is the production manager for the company. And this year they are co-directing the seasonal holiday performance of A Christmas Carol coming up right soon.
Yeah.
Actually before Thanksgiving, I want to say, because your preview show is the night before Thanksgiving.
Is our first preview, SantaCruzShakespeare.org has all the info you need.
Yeah. Now, you've talked a lot about Luke Shepard's role as doing the music.
Yes.
But one of the things that's really striking in live theater is how many people collaborate. I mean, besides directors and actors and musical directors, you've got set designers and costume people and lighting people and, all kinds of tech support. And so there's really, it's a team effort. And I wonder if you could talk a little bit about the collaboration that goes on and what you like about that. Obviously, you've made a career in this field, that there's something about that and how that works for you.
Absolutely. My favorite part of theater, period, is an ensemble mentality. And ensemble, the word ensemble, normally applies to the ensemble of the cast, but I like to apply it to the entire company because I think we are all different parts of the same body and we're all working to produce this show. And I think we've all been gifted with different abilities, and therefore costume design and acting and directing and writing are just different talents. And so what's great about this year is that, yes, we have a few new collaborators, but we do have several of our designers from last year. And so our scenic designer, Bennett Seymour, our lighting designer, Stephen Migdal, and our costume designer, B Modern, have all returned. And so as part of the design, we want to add new elements every year, but it's still the same show. And so like B has a couple more costumes that she wants to update or add, or as she likes to say, tart up. She likes to make it shiny and new and add glitter, or the opposite, in distress, more costumes, make them more grubby and scary looking or whatever. And Steven, our lighting designer, is looking to add a couple new lighting elements. We've acquired some new instruments over the summer, so we're hoping to have new tech elements. And Bennett, our scenic designer, has rebuilt the set in a week, which is crazy. And it's still our moving set, but we've added a new practical lighting element. We've added maybe more snow, maybe some other elements, some other hidden things that I won't give away. But it's just again, like I said, I keep saying evolving, but it is an evolving production. We're hoping to let it grow. That's what I'll say.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have the collaborators we have in Santa Cruz. And on the design side, everybody's a local artisan, and we're proud to be able to hire some great artisans from outside of this community to bring their art to us, but we're also really, really proud to hire the artisans within this community, both to help support them and because the dollars we're investing are more directly invested back into the community. And, just listening to Alicia go down the list of these collaborators. And I would add, even though she'll be humble about it, that Alicia is the top of that pyramid. The production manager's job is to organize the collaboration between the designers, especially at the most intense time, which is crunch time in technical rehearsals. And she's one of the best in the business, and we're very lucky to have her as well.
Thank you. That's very nice. And then shout out to all of our artisans and crew members, and one particularly, Jillian Bong, who is our wardrobe supervisor and the queen of all costume changes.
She's a miracle, and she's pulling double duty this year.
She is due, yeah, and she's B Modern's assistant as well as the unsung costume shop manager. So she's doing it all. But people like her who just kind of jump in and do the work and love the work are people that we just want to continue to invest in, and we're lucky to have, hopefully, people who want to return. We're a seasonal company who's slowly growing and hopefully becoming year-round soon. But it is a seasonal position. You either come during the summer or now you come during the winter. And the people who want to return, we want them to feel like this is their home summer, their summer away from home or their winter away from home, or their summer or winter back home. Like our new stage manager this year, Angela Lopez, is actually a Santa Cruz local who lives in New York now, but she gets to come home and spend Christmas with her family while working, which I think I'm really happy that worked out. But that, yeah. She's a great addition to our team as well. But we want people to want to come back, and that's our hope as we feed into our community and our community of artists who want to give back to our theater, and we want to give back to them.
Wonderful. Well, we have just a couple of minutes left, and I'd like to give each of you an opportunity to say anything you want about A Christmas Carol, maybe what you love about it, what makes you care about this particular production, and remind our listeners again when it's coming up and how they can get tickets.
Yeah, for me, Christmas Carol is just a story of redemption. And I keep coming back to that thought every time I look at the script or watch the actors on stage, and just how much humanity there is. Mike Ryan, our Scrooge, brought up recently that Scrooge isn't a bad man who becomes a good man. He's a good man who's made bad choices, and it's never too late to turn around. And so I think the lessons that he learns are all connected to grace and mercy and the idea of human forgiveness and redemption that comes from other people choosing to forgive you and you choosing to accept that forgiveness and also wanting to make the change. And I think Scrooge does that. And it's more than just being scared out of a future where he's forgotten or dead and people sell his belongings. But I think it's realizing that he wants to have more out of his life by incorporating himself back into the community, which he's shut himself off from. So that means helping the Cratchit family. That means going to dinner at his nephew's house, but also becoming part of their lives and letting himself open up to love and forgiveness.
Yeah, well said. In a world of such polarization and echo chambers, a world in which some people are even starting to try to vilify concepts like empathy and compassion, I think a story that tries to break down some of those walls and just return us to the fact that we're all human beings, very, very briefly on this globe, and we really should treat each other better. And we'll all lead a better and more fulfilled life if we could do that. That may sound like an oversimplification. I don't think it is. But even if you think it is, what a wonderful thing to return to experience and think about in the holiday season, in the time of the solstice and the changing of the seasons and the shortest days of the year when the frost is creeping in. I think it's an important tale to return to. So, I love A Christmas Carol. Tickets at santacruzshakespeare.org. Come check it out.
Yeah, no matter what your holiday traditions are this year, we'd love to see you down at the Vets Hall. Opening night is Sunday, November 30th at 7 p.m. Come check us out.
Wonderful. Well, Charles Pasternak, Alicia Gibson, thank you so much for coming on Talk of the Bay, and I look forward to partaking of the joy of Christmas Carol.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Len. Appreciate you.